Fire at sea is one of the most dangerous situations a seafarer can face. And if a shipmate is missing and needs to be rescued, that situation just got worse. A self-contained breathing apparatus is your lifeline in the event of fighting a fire on board or rescuing someone from a hazardous environment. It could save your life or someone else's.
I have been in the point where I have been in a flashover where if I didn't have an Scba on, I wouldn't be here to talk about it to this day. Scba is your lifeline in any kind of fire.
Effective training in the proper use of an Scba unit is essential. STCW regulations outline the competence required in firefighting and rescue situations. It is important that Scba sets are properly maintained and always ready for immediate use.
Training is probably the key thing that you definitely want to do, because the more you train, the more it comes to you as second nature.
In this video, you'll learn how to use your self-contained breathing apparatus safely, how to make effective use of Scba in fire drills, and how to inspect and maintain the equipment to ensure its continued readiness. It's something no one ever wants to face: a fire on board. Basic firefighting training ensures readiness in the event of a real-life incident. Key proficiencies in any basic firefighting training program include the use and maintenance of self-contained breathing apparatus. A self-contained breathing apparatus is made up of several different components that are all necessary for its safe and proper use. The air cylinder and pressure gauge, hoses, alarms, the frame or backplate, the mask or facepiece, regulators and bypass valve, and additional accessories. The Scba units on board your ship may have additional features, such as built-in communication devices, monitoring systems, and extra alarms. When there is a fire, every second counts. You cannot perform a comprehensive test of your Scba when a few seconds can mean the difference between life and death. Practice and application are the best ways to develop competency in the use of an Scba. However, there are some quick, critical checks that you should make for your own safety and peace of mind. Check that all valves are functioning correctly, including the bypass valve. Confirm that gauges are working and showing the required pressures. And test the low-pressure alarm. Depending on your equipment and any accessories your sets may have, there may also be other pre-use checks to carry out, according to the manufacturer's recommended practice. But remember, you must become proficient at making them quickly, as time is critical.
First things first, you always want to turn the first stage regulator on. Make sure that you actually have airflow on before you don your mask or enter a smoky environment. Make sure that that pack's ready to go, because as soon as you have it on and you go in, there's no turning back.
Once you're ready, you'll begin by putting on the harness and properly adjusting and securing the belt. Next, put on the mask or facepiece, adjusting the straps for proper seal. Make sure the regulator is securely attached to the cylinder. Then, turn the cylinder valve to the open position. Your own training or company procedures may require you to put your set on in a different way. For example, it may be standard practice to keep the second stage regulator and hose already connected.
The one thing that always comes hand in hand, whether it's me or anyone else I'm working with, is if you're able to take a deep breath and try and calm your emotions before you get masked up. It's hard for me to sit here and tell you this is exactly how it should be done until you walk in that room and you have fire staring you in the face. It's real easy to say slow your breathing down. Your limitations is how fast you breathe or how slow you breathe is going to determine how much air you're going to have left over.
Scbas typically offer around 30 minutes of air, although the exact time available will vary depending on the cylinder capacity, the breathing rate of the user, and the demands of the situation being faced. An alarm will activate when a defined minimum volume of air is reached. This is sometimes called the end-of-service time indicator or low air alarm, and it is a clear warning that it is time for you to exit the hazardous area. In a search and rescue operation, success will often depend on a knowledge of the fire area and on any preparations made beforehand. This is where good shipboard familiarization and live training drills prove themselves essential. The greater your familiarity with an SCBA unit and with rescue procedures, the more likely it is that the operation will be a success. A live training drill allows the opportunity for hands-on experience with many of the same challenges that may occur in a real-life incident. As with all drills, good planning is important to maximize the benefits of the exercise. Proper briefing is essential so participants fully understand the required outcomes, and a debrief must be conducted to ensure lessons are learned and carried forward.
Safety officer should always know as best as he can without stepping into the environment what is inside, what he's sending his crew in for, and we give them a little bit of a briefing. It's a little overwhelming when you step into a room and all you see is flame or lack of flame and you can't see anything and it's pitch black. So the little bit of knowledge that you're able to prepare your crew with is the best thing you could do for them.
An SCBA is used when an atmosphere is hazardous to health. Regular drills held under live but controlled conditions will prepare the team for any number of dangerous situations and circumstances. For example, access to a confined area wearing SCBA can prove difficult, especially if a casualty has to be recovered. New crew members will have to be integrated into the team and become familiar with procedures, which may temporarily reduce its efficiency. Finally, although good maintenance should eliminate equipment failure, a set may become damaged or a component could fail during use. In such circumstances, effective communication is essential, and immediate evacuation may be required. This is where you might possibly have to use your emergency bypass valve. The emergency bypass valve delivers a continuous air supply in the event of a regulator problem, and it's essential to know how to activate it. In summary, you'll be much better prepared for an emergency, more confident, and more competent if it's something you've already trained for. After using an SCBA, either in an emergency or in a drill, don't just put it away and forget about it. What you do after use is just as critical to ensure its readiness the next time it's needed.
You want to make sure you clean them, only because of the fact that if you've used it in a smoky environment, fire environment, you don't know what kind of contaminants are still on that SCBA. So soap and water should always be used. Wash it, rinse it off before you put it back into service.
Check that it has not been damaged. Clean it, replace the cylinder, and test all components. Only when you are confident that it is ready in all respects should it be put back into the safety locker. Make sure you leave the SCBA unit in a safe working condition for others, with all parts functioning correctly and the cylinder fully charged. The self-contained breathing apparatus on your vessel will be subject to periodic maintenance inspections, as detailed in the vessel's safety management and planned maintenance systems. These checks will be carried out at defined intervals according to the manufacturer's guidelines. These checks will be a mixture of visual examinations, including the frame, straps and hoses, and function tests of valves, gauges, and alarms. The exact test required will depend on the model of SCBA on your vessel. You should always refer to the manufacturer's checklist. Exact items will vary, but look for the condition of the harness, including straps, buckles, and backplate, the second stage regulator O-ring, your high and low pressure hoses. Next, you'll inspect the condition of the air cylinder and check all pressure gauges, and any and all alarms. You'll also want to examine the condition of the mask. Is it clean? Is it in good condition? You'll look at the regulator and exhalation valves. Some components require other tests. For example, the air cylinders will also be subject to hydrostatic testing at regular intervals. The details on all tests and inspections should be recorded. Good maintenance ensures safe operation. With life support items like self-contained breathing apparatus, the importance is even more critical. Learning to use and maintain an SCBA is a core component of basic firefighting and rescue, as the STCW code recognizes. Demonstrating competence through training exercises and rescue drills is necessary to ensure readiness for a real-life event. In this video, we covered 3 important elements of basic SCBA training. First, how to use SCBA, how to put it on, and how it works. Next, be prepared. How practice and application, through rescue drills and training exercises, prepares us for the real thing. And finally, look after it. We covered maintaining your SCBA both through after use and periodic maintenance checks.
The comfort of having your SCBA on you when it's pitch black, the only thing that you hear is the breathing from your second stage regulator. When it's a pitch black room, that's pretty much all you have to cling on to.
Competence in the use and maintenance of self-contained breathing apparatus will ensure the best possible outcome from one of the worst circumstances a seafarer can face.